What a beautiful conversation with Paige. Amazing, beautiful. Nice to tune in to Brian too in spirit. It's funny how I didn't see him as the 23-year-old. Yeah, we were talking before, after the show, after I finished the recording, you know how he was saying, remember the movement, there is freedom in the movement. Cyrus was saying when he had Paige on his show that I thought was brilliant. He said, maybe he was talking about the spiritual movement. There's freedom in the movement. I thought, what a great perspective on that statement. There is freedom when you join the spiritual movement, not necessarily the religious movement, but the conscious awakening movement, the spiritual movement, when you connect with your higher self and your spirit guides and your dead relatives or loved ones in spirit or whatever. They don't like to be called dead because they kind of feel more alive than most of us here on earth. But there is freedom in the movement. I thought that was a great perspective from beautiful Cyrus. Yes, it's so much to discover as we reconnect with our spiritual home while we're flowing through a physical life, a physical mind, body, spirit complex. The expansion of consciousness, it's wonderful, isn't it? And that we're choosing all of it. We're choosing to believe all of it. It doesn't really matter what it is that you believe. It is a choice, which we don't actually feel like it's a choice, many of us. Some people just really argue at that point, like, if I'm in an accident and my body's smashed up and I can't move anymore, that's not a choice. You know, the fact that I can't move is not a choice. I think of Christopher Reeves. Remember Christopher Reeves, who was Superman many years ago, and he was thrown for a horse and he became a quadriplegic. Anyway, and he was a big advocate. He knew that his body could heal. He knew that he could heal the spine, even though the current allopathic science of the day couldn't do it, couldn't repair his spine and have him walk again. He knew it was possible. Anyway, he died, left his body, not having achieved that. But I really feel like he'll be back and be a part of the technology and the science, be it consciousness science, that will show humanity how we can choose that, how all things are possible as we move on our expansion journey into a new world. We're going to see so many things that will become a reality and our truth and possible that we believe are not possible now. All of it. I was just saying to Paige, when I was listening to Esther Hicks channeling Abraham years ago, there was a woman that asked, someone had said to Esther through Abraham through Esther, so do you mean to say that if you chopped off somebody's arm and we believed that the arm could grow back, it would? And Abraham said, yes, absolutely. Which, when you think of it from our consciousness, we think it's not possible. But isn't it crazy to think that all things are possible simply when you know it to be your truth? I was saying to Paige also afterwards that when I read in the Seth books years ago that there are only two rules to life, only two. One, you create your own reality, and two, there are no limits. There are no limits. And we hear all the time when we hear about near-death experiences or people talking to spirit, their dead loved ones, that just like Brian said that he created his batch pad on the other side, through the mechanism of thought, he created a whole scenario, a whole world where he's in a batch pad because he'd never had that in his physical life because he was at college and living in dorms and he had just moved into a flat with some friends, but obviously a desire held within the physical lifetime of Brian. Oh, I'd love to have my own pad, my own batch pad. So he created that in spirit, and he creates that. Like if you listen to even Elisa Medhus, Eric talks about this, how we can create anything in spirit, like go skiing, do anything with the technology of mind consciousness. The crazy thing is that we can do that here too. It's just that we don't know we can do that. And here in this dimension, we have the buffer of time. So when we have a thought that we want to create something, it doesn't manifest instantly like it does in spirit. But there is, as above, so below. There is no difference between here and there, only that there's a few rules that change. It's still the same laws apply, but the rules are different in that there is a denser reality here. The vibratory rate is slower. So there is this buffer of time. So there is time between a thought and the manifestation of the thought, but also the intensity of the thought, like the amount of emotional energy and motion behind the thought, and the manifestation in what we call our physical reality changes too. So the time for each thought differs depending on the amount of energy behind the thought, be it an angry thought or a joyful, blissful thought. So there's so much that we're coming into awareness about who we are as powerful, deliberate creators and how we create our reality, and that all things are possible when we believe it, when we know it to be true. And when we choose to believe something, even though it seems impossible, when we choose to believe it, we can create that reality. Again, we have to dovetail with the soul's arrangement or agreements or what we're experiencing to live or experience in this lifetime. I was talking about that with my Inner Sanctum tribe on Monday. We were talking about illness, and I was saying that I had been told by a healer that in a past lifetime I had been a doctor a few times, and that I died frustrated, not knowing what the difference was in that lifetime between, say, half a dozen patients with the same illness, why they didn't all respond to the same treatment. And then so I put that question to my group, and I said, why? And so I came in this lifetime with that question as one of the questions I wanted to fulfill in this lifetime. Like, what makes someone heal and someone not heal? Like, why can't someone with the same disease get the same benefit from a treatment that the other person? Like, what's the difference? And obviously it's a consciousness, it's a spiritual story. And apparently in those lifetimes I was too scientific. I wasn't open to the spiritual part, the component, the consciousness component, which many doctors are still like that today in this time, on this timeline. And so some souls can come into experience illness and they don't choose to heal because there's so much benefit for them as a soul, as a soul, not a person, that the illness is giving them. They're learning to be supported. They're learning what compassion is. They're learning how to receive. So there can be a lot of benefits. So sometimes someone doesn't heal or somebody dies of cancer or whatever because that's what the soul is choosing. So but it's all a choice. Like, even if we're choosing not to overcome, that's a choice as well. And so choice, it's the biggest component of who we are as deliberate creations. We're choosing it. So whatever you're going through, be it good, bad, just know that on some level of your being, you've chosen it. And when you can tap in to that choice, like, why am I choosing this? What is the benefit for my soul? How can I see the silver lining? How can I see the gift? Then you take your power back as a deliberate creator, and it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. Choose to believe. I loved the title of the book, Choose to Believe. Choose to believe that you can, even though you believe you can't. Just choose to believe it. Just entertain the thought. Try it on. I had a girlfriend who died in her early 40s. Maybe she was in her late 30s. Who was such a beautiful being. That knocked me around when she left her body, because she had been at my place maybe a year or so before, telling me how she wanted to get married and she wanted to have babies and she wanted the house with the white picket fence and all that stuff, like just pouring out her desires. And then she left her body so young, having not fulfilled them in this lifetime. And I grieved that she didn't get to fulfill all those things that she wanted. I'm sure she created them in spirit, just like Brian did, after she left her body, to sort of experience what she, some of those desires, or she'll come back and experience them in the next lifetime. But she used to say, she was a life coach. She used to say, try it on. She said, just like you try on a cardigan or a sweater or a jumper, just try on the belief, like just try it on for size. And if you don't like it, you can take it off, or try it on like you would try on a new pair of sunglasses. Try on the thought, just try it on. This is what she used to say. I used to love it. Try it on. And if you don't like it, you can always take it off. Yeah, so we can try on some beliefs that we think are completely impossible. We can just try them on for size and see how they fit. And if you're not wearing them well, you can take them off and put them on later. But isn't it interesting? Just like a new pair of sunglasses or a new shirt or top, sometimes when you put it on, your identity of who you think you are doesn't match. Just like these glasses, and another $5 pair of magnifiers. I hadn't had this sort of shape before. So I thought, I don't know if they suit me. And then after you wear them a few times, it's just like, I can't believe they didn't suit me. They just become part of your face. So what seems foreign in one moment becomes the normal in the next. Yeah. Anyway, it's a big conversation. It's a conversation I love having, how we choose to believe, how we choose to create our world, how we are genius creators. Can we be genius, deliberate creators in our world, especially coming into 2021, big year ahead? Can we be more deliberate in how we flow our energy and what choices we make and how we can experience the world, even with all the contrast, even with all the drama that is to come, because there is a lot more to come. The world isn't going to calm down anytime soon. So it's up to you guys, the light weavers, the new world teachers, the difference makers, to help people navigate the contrast and the deconstruction of old belief systems, old patterns, old systems, to help them navigate that through helping them flow their energy or choose their thoughts in a way that feels good so that you can thrive and enjoy this life while we're here. Thanks again for watching, and remember to buy the book Awakened by Death. It's full of stories, just like Paige's, of people who have had an amazing awakenings through the death experience. Many of them had their own NDEs. Some of them are extensive and expansive and blow your mind. It's a beautiful book with many pearls of wisdom from different people's stories, including mine. I've got a story in there. I didn't go into too much detail, but just talks about me hanging out with Mum on the other side after she died, and another friend, all these dead friends and relatives coming to teach me. My teachers. Our teachers don't necessarily have to be just books or people in physical bodies. They can be teachers, just like Brian was a teacher to the person that murdered him. And teaching him through that experience. You wouldn't think that being murdered would be a way of teaching someone, but then we've got to think of this world differently. It's not all as it seems, like because death is not a reality from the perspective of spirit. It's just flowing through a physical experience and then withdrawing that energy from that experience. But it's like you don't go anywhere as a spirit. You're still there. You're eternal. You are the light. You can't dim the light. Anyway, lots of love to you. And next year for the Inner Sanctum, I have just organised the beautiful Kate Raymond, who paints angels and does angel readings and messages. Have a look at the show I did with Kate. It's a beautiful show. She's the most beautiful artist. She's going to come in mid-January. I think it's around the 17th, 18th of January, to be our first guest to kick off 2021 with the angels. I said to Kate on the phone last night, I thought we'd kick off 2021 with the angels, because we were thinking February, March, trying to match our schedules. And she said, yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think we need to kick off 2021 with the angels. So that'll be beautiful, as she'll be our first guest teacher. And as you know, I'm online every week teaching deliberate creation and helping you share your stories and awaken your spiritual journey. I have many people that join the group that go, I was just interested because I'm interested in your shows. I was just interested in the information. And I remind them, well, there are many groups you can join if you're interested in this information, but my group is about activating you as a new world teacher or a difference maker or a light weaver, someone that knows from your soul's perspective that you have come into this world to help be a part of the shift in human expansion, human potential, human expansion of human consciousness. And how do you play that role? So if you're somebody that feels like you're here to make a difference and you want to discover more about what your role is in the expansion of human consciousness, then join us in the Inner Sanctum, and you've got other people to chat with that are all on the same spiritual journey. and doing it in a variety of different ways all over the world. It's a wonderful group. I just love my group. They're amazing. Just love them. Love you big time. I'll be online again before Christmas. I've got one more person to chat with before Christmas, and I don't know if I've got somebody else booked in. I think I'm going to have some time off from the show, but I'll see you all again soon. Big love. Bye for now.